Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of What's the Word with Ladbrokes here at the Racing Post. I'm Tom Malone. I'm joined, as always, by David Jennings, Brendan Duke, and, of course, Shane Mann as well from our sponsors, Ladbrokes. Before we get underway, by the way, the brilliant weekend's racing, of course, featuring the Ladbroke Trophy. Got a little competition for you in the comments section. It's simple. Tip a horse this weekend, and the biggest prize winner, straightforward. Biggest prize winner wins a free bet, €100, £100 free bet. So pop your selection in the comment and make sure you have them in before noon on Saturday. Right, we're nearly at Christmas, by the way. 1st of December this Friday. So you're going to have a little story for us. You're going to say the worst Christmas present you've ever had. Going to ask the story across the
Okay, this is actually quite embarrassing. My other half, Aoife, her mum, so my soon-to-be mother-in-law, last Christmas bought me a nose trimmer. So I'm opening up the box and I kind of thought it was like, I don't know, it was a nice box and everything was perfectly wrapped. Opened it up and I said to Aoife, what's that? Because it looked quite strange. I said, what the hell is that? And she goes, it's a nose trimmer. And I was like, why'd she get me that? Well, she just one of the days you were talking and she looked up your nose and she thought it could have been doing with a bit of...
Wow, that's
not going to be beat.
Brilliant. Top that? Anyone? Can anyone top that?
No, it just shows it's a minefield, these Christmas presents. I was racking my brain trying to think. I've got a lot of jumpers that attracted all the fluff and hairs in the air and what have you. Yeah, a bit like this one actually, but I wear them anyway.
Yeah, well, you'll have to get your Racing Post charity jumper this Christmas.
Well, indeed, my auntie will be watching, so you know.
Right, let's move on to the Ladbrokes Trophy. Of course, the highlight of the weekend, an absolutely top quality renewal as always. Shane, give us a run through the prices.
Yeah, so first of all to mention as well to all our viewers and listeners, we're going 5 places at a quarter of the odds. I have to emphasise that, a quarter of the odds, an extra place in the big race, the Ladbrokes Trophy this weekend. Total recall 5-1, the favourite at the moment. Single farm payment 7-1, American 7-1. Good money for Whisper this week as well, also at 7-1. A Genie in a Bottle 11-1, Coney Gree 12-1, 12-1 Vita de Rock, and 14's Bar.
Yeah, Willie Mullins, by the way, his first run is in the UK this weekend. Can you see Total Recall doing this?
Look, it's a kind of, the way I look at it, it's kind of like Pep Guardiola taking over Everton. And they won their first game 5-0. He won the Munster National with Total Recall. But it's like going to play Chelsea and Stamford Bridge now. Like, it's a big step up from what he's achieved. Yeah. Like, he was only rated 129 when he got him, so he's up £18. It's a hell of a lot, and it's a good race. I'd be taking him on, especially with the ground. I think he needs softer ground. The one I'd be taking him on with is Whisper. I just think Whisper has got that rock solid RSA form, second season chaser. I think he's actually better on flat tracks. I know he's won a Coral Cup, he was just beating a nose in the RSA, but I think he's better on flat tracks. He's won 2 Liverpool hurdles and he won a handicap hurdle by 7 lengths at Newbury as well. Yeah, I just think I could see him getting into a nice rhythm. He liked the ground and I think he's got the class edge in the race. And one of the huge price, Missed Approach 25-1. He was second in the 4-miler last year at Cheltenham. I think he'll go well at a big price.
One of the plot horses is probably American. Would you give him a chance, Brendan?
I'd be worried about the ground, Tom.
Yeah.
The ground seems to be quicker on the chase course than the hurdles course. He's a great profile for the race. Bowl jumping, up at the pace, second season chaser. I can see it's just, if it was normal Ladbroke Trophy ground, I would back him. But I'll leave him alone. I thought a couple of the price. I'm not going to let Coney Gree go off 16-1.
Yeah, 12-1 now. There was support from this week. So
oh, there was?
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, into
well,
12-1.
I can see why, if you could make an excuse. I know there were lots of excuses made for Weatherby, but the Punchestown one puts him bang there.
I was going to say he's a Gold Cup winner in a handicap, essentially.
Jeez, he looked like a cripple the last time.
Well, he did.
He's very fragile, but I mean, at 12-1, I mean, what was the excuse they came out with the last week? The sun, you know, they didn't put the glasses on last week or whatever it was. But I mean, if he goes out in front and sets a really good gallop like he did in the Gold Cup a couple of seasons back. I know he hasn't had that many runs since, but 12-1 could be overpriced.
Big weights do well in the race. I think the last 4 or 5 winners have all carried 11 stone or more. Would you ever think, oh, we'll row in with Coney Gree for? Short now.
If he hadn't ran in the Charlie Hall, I'd be kind of going, do you know what? He could be the old Coney Gree. But I just thought, watching the race, I was like, this horse is just in bits. Like, his jumping went to pieces. And, yeah, maybe the sun was to blame. I know your dad blames the sun for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I'd advise you not to back him.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you consider, Willie Mullins only had something like 1 handicap chase winner in the UK
Very
in the last
bad
5 years. Would that kind of put you off a Total Recall?
I suppose a little bit, but like Willie's a genius. Like, so any of them kind of negative records, I think they can be explained in certain circumstances. So yeah, that wouldn't put me off, but I don't think he's good enough.
Right, good stuff. Quick thought on the intermediate hurdle. Charlie Parks and Charlie Parks has just been overtaken today, hasn't he?
Yeah, correct, Tom. Yes, so High Bridge currently 11-4. Charlie Parks 3-1, 4-1. Mount Muse 7-1. Poppy K 8-1. Amor Denui, along with Cosmopolitan and Master of Irony 14-1. Just the 7 of them to line up. Not
really in each way, right? So the 7 runners. You got a thought on that?
Yeah, my whole weekend revolves around High Bridge. Charlie Parks, I think he could be a morning glory. I know he did brilliant pieces of work in 7 barrows, but High Bridge, that run in Ascot, that race is working out spectacularly well.
Absolutely
3 of the first 6 have won. Elgin won the Great Wood. And if you actually watch the race, which you can now watch all the replays on Racing Post, they're back. And I just think High Bridge, if you watch that race, Air Horse 1 was just bumping into him and leaning into him the whole way up the home straight. And I think High Bridge is slightly claustrophobic as well, because he likes to be out wide. He's brilliant on flat tracks. He's a flat track bully. This race is perfect for him. Alex Ferguson takes off £7. I'll be really disappointed if High Bridge doesn't win.
Brendan?
For exactly the same reasons as David, I'll be looking for a High Bridge if this doesn't win.
Okie doke on that. Anything else standing out on the Saturday card? I kind of fancy Air Force 1 a little bit on that line of form as well. He's dropped in classic.
Yeah, I fancy a horse in nearly every race, but in the last race, not just because it's named after the place I'm from, I think Duke of Navan has got a cracking chance. I just thought he ran really well in his comeback at Aintree. He's off 140. He's 147 2 years ago when he was in his prime. Got injured, really good comeback, brilliant jumper. Davy Russell booked, so Duke of Navan in the last.
Good stuff, Brendan. Anything else on Saturday for you?
There's a novice chase at 12:45 in Newbury, looks good. Black Corton, it's hard to fault him, but I'm gonna fault him. I think he's slightly flattered by his rating of 155. Yeah. Fountain's Windfall jumped well on debut, should improve for the step up and trip, and Black Corton might make the price for it, so I'll have a few quid in that.
Good stuff. Right, on to Sunday. Absolutely cracking card at Ferris. We'll both be there. We'll go in time order. Go with the Royal Bond, another cracking renewal. Probably the most competitive as well of the grade ones on Sunday. Shane, the prices on that, please.
Another small field here, Tom, over the 2 mile distance. Mangley Can 9-4, Red Jack 5-2, 130 about Macatorix 6-1, Laricheburg 10-1. Early doors, Hardline 11-1 and 40-1. Morgan Beat, the outsider.
Who are you going with?
Oh sure, I can't make head nor tail of this. Jockey bookings are bizarre. So I kind of fancied Red Jack, and Barry Geraghty is riding Laricheburg, and then Mark Walsh, who rode Red Jack to win at Naas, he's riding early doors. I know Sean Flanagan is no lead stable jockey, but that makes no difference. JP has the call. I wonder will Red Jack even run, judging by the jockey bookings. If he did run, I think he has the potential to be the best horse in the race. You know, beating the Boucher in a bumper last season. That form is really good, and he's already beaten Laricheburg as well in a bumper. Of the grade ones, this would be the one I'd have at least an opinion on.
That is.
Is that right English?
Sure?
Least an opinion on.
Well, it's definitely
less of an opinion on.
It's definitely a unique scenario. Anyway, Brendan, your thoughts on the Royal Bond?
I think Mangley Can is really putting it together the last couple of runs. I was so impressed with him on comeback and the last day as well, which is understandable. He's only had about, between flat and jumps, and he's only had about 12 runs, so it's understandable that he's kind of mentally growing up, and I think he might just have too much speed for Red Jack.
Good stuff. On to the Drinmore, assuming Death Duty is still one favourite here.
Absolutely, 8-13 the last show, Tom, over the 2.5 miles here. 7-2 by Raf Vinden, 11-2 Denario de Zabot, 16-1 Shattered Love, 16-1 Snow Falcon, and Townshend 25-1. Just the 6 of them standard ground thus far.
Death Duty was all the rage in Annie Cheltenham preview last year. I mean, is this his time of the year? Or just think this is his step now, this is his game chasing?
Yeah, he's obviously the most likely winner, but the one I like, the value is probably gone, is Denario de Zobo. Yeah. Getting £15 from Death Duty. Death Duty want to be a fair horse to give Denario de Zobo £15, and I think it's really clever what Gordon has done here. What he's got is a 4-year-old mare who jumps brilliantly and who loves soft ground. So what he said is, well, let's try and win a grade 1 at this stage of the season when we get all the allowances, when the ground is in our favour. She was brilliant at Clonmel. She won by 22 lengths. Miss Eyecatcher, you know, she's limited, but she's no mug, and I thought that was a brilliant performance. And I know 11-2 is a little bit skimpy now, but I think Denario de Zobo is still probably the value against Death Duty.
Yeah, no, Brendan, your thoughts on this race?
I really like Death Duty.
Good, good.
And he's just a proper horse. And I also think Shattered Love being in the race is important for him, because I thought he jumped a lot better the last day getting a lead. Yeah. He's inclined to just he's almost too much ability. His mind wanders on the job. And
he seems to go big at a few as well, does he?
I thought he was a lot better than he did definitely the first day.
The first day he did,
but he was sort of looking into the stands for most of the race. But that's a fair point. If his jumping did regress, but I think his jumping's getting better. I just think he's a really good horse.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Right, on to the big hurdle race and the Hatton's Grace. Top two in the market. How are they betting now?
Yeah, 2 miles and 4 the distance there, Tom. Nicholas Canyon 5-4, 13 to 8 Apples Jet, bypassing the fighting fifth, of course, for this race. Super Sunday 13-2, 12 to 1. Chilios Emery 16 to 1. Augusta K 25 to 1. Mick Jazz and Swamp Fox 33 to 1. Just a 7 in here again, which is quite frustrating.
It's interesting in this race that this is only the second time Nicholas Canyon's run at Fairyhouse, even though you think this race should have been his target almost every year. It's just perfect for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what has happened though, he's won the Morgiana for the last 2 years in the trot, so he's been kind of filling in for basically for Faheen last season, and then he beat Faheen. It's funny, when on Monday when the entries came out, or Tuesday, I fancied Apples Jade, and I have completely turned full circle, and now I'd be disappointed if Nicholas Canyon is beaten, because you know, that form fresh, 2.5 miles on right-handed tracks. I think his form on right-handed tracks is phenomenal. I just think that he has a class edge on Apples Jade over this trip, and as we said, fresh, right-handed. Will he aim him at the race this year? He ticks all the boxes, and I just think he's probably a better horse than Apples Jade.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Brendan, your thoughts? You similar?
I think I'd rather be an odds compiler than a punter on this race. There's £1 between them at adjusted ratings. I think the prices are bang on.
Is there any value even without the pairing? Who might pick up third?
I think I'll just watch it.
Okay, doke.
Should be a right race.
Shane, do you fancy anything in this?
I mean, it's a strange one, Tom, really. I mean, she was down to running the fighting fifth as well, was taken out of the race. Wasn't she just touched off in that race last year by Irving, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And who takes his chance again in this year's renewal. But I actually fancy Apples Jade. I'm going to go against David. 13 to 8, I think possibly. You'd probably assume now that Nicholas Canyon will be back in the day as well, so the drift in Apples Jade as well could be quite tempting.
Good stuff. Anything else on that Fairyhouse card? The juvenile hurdle is superb as well. Was it 10-11 Esport Dallin, 11-10?
Yeah, another small field here again. Esport Dallin 10-11, 11-10 against Machuca. Dura 12-1 if we've got that right. Randall's your poet 33-1, and Vanderbilt 100-1.
Can you split those two juveniles?
I can, yeah. Fancy Esport Dallin, yeah.
Same.
And just a couple later on, one at a huge price in the handicap hurdle. Vineyard for Gordon Elliott and Dennis O'Regan is 25-1. Loves Fairyhouse, second to Thomas Hobson in the big handicap hurdle there last year. I just think 25-1 is a ridiculous price. I think it should be about 10s. So Vineyard in that, and Fine Theatre for Paul Nolan and Donny McInerney later on. I think that'll go well, yeah.
Yeah. It's a big stamp of the classic Paul Nolan chaser. Yeah,
lovely horse.
Good stuff, Brendan. Your thoughts?
Just one, that 205, that handicap hurdle is a red hot race, isn't it? But I still, Bleu et Rouge, fun to say, not so fun to support, but on his day, serious operator, and I think getting buried in a big field around here over hurdles because he's terrible issues with fences. Could be the time to catch him. Yeah,
he's a mark of 149 or something. He's back after a couple of fails over obstacles, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he might even be slightly lower than that, but he's around 140 something. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okie doke. Well, those some thoughts on the Sunday card. Time now for our multiples for the weekend. Best bets for the weekend, of course. Ladbrokes best odds guarantees on multiples between 11 and 1 in all shops. So we'll start with our man from Ladbrokes. Shane, what's your multiple for the weekend?
Yeah, treble for me again, Tom. Sadly, no success last weekend, but hopefully two at a short price, then one at a bigger price. The two shorties are going to be Det Duty in the Drinmore on Sunday at 8-13, and Apples Jade at 13-8 in the Hatton's Grace, and Coneygree in the Ladbrokes Trophy, the big one, on Saturday. For
there won't be a dry eye in the house. It's
absolutely.
There won't be a shilling in his wallet if he bags
it. Your multi for the weekend, Brendan.
I'll go for a Trixie because I'm just struggling to back 3 winners, but I'll go for it. High Bridge in that intermediate hurdle. Didn't write down the time.
2:25.
Thank you, David. 12:45 in Newbury, Fountains Windfall, and I'll throw in Det Duty as well. I don't know the time, but everyone knows when Det Duty's running.
Yeah, absolutely, the big one. Go on.
Okay, High Bridge is the banker. 2:25 Newbury Saturday. The other ones I will give will be in the rehearsal chase at Newcastle Bishops Road for Kerry Lee and Jamie Moore. I think that will take a lot of beating. And the other one I will give is, because I think it'll win, is Nichols Canyon in the Hatton's Grace.
Good stuff. Right, my treble for the weekend is Espoir Delaine American in the big race, the Ladbrokes Trophy, and also Air Horse 1 in that handicap hurdle on Saturday as well. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and join us again next week for more What's the Word.